You know, I might need some advice.
Really? You always
Yeah.
giving the advice, so I'm shocked to hear you say I might need some advice. That is a humbling response. I appreciate your growth.
I don't know whether to take that as an actual compliment or to be appalled, but you know,
Oh my god. That should be a topic in itself, honestly.
I'm trying to figure out how to, I guess, maneuver through different circumstances without letting my emotions be so attached to it. And I'm only asking you because I noticed that you tend to do that seemingly effortlessly.
What's that?
Like go through things like pretty much emotionless.
Wow, I don't know how to take that. I don't know if I should be feeling good or bad. Then again, I'm emotionless, so I shouldn't feel
I
anything.
didn't say. I'm not saying that you are emotionless. I said seemingly.
I hate to say it.
But then again, they do say that men, you know, show less emotion than women.
It's a universal star trait.
Mm-hmm.
It's a star trait, like the moon is star trait.
Please explain.
One word, zodiac. I tend to get these comments a lot, and I see it a lot common with certain signs, quote unquote. Can we talk about that? Welcome to the late night
And Asia
show
Black.
where we talk about any old body, any old thing, in any old kind of way.
Please, please, please do not get offended by the statements made, for they are only opinions based on observations and sometimes facts. For
For
example,
example, now I want to say how I seemingly go through life is not emotionless, okay? I feel emotions.
okay.
However, your emotions are only geared to your point of perception.
Mm-hmm.
So, my point of perception is always and will always be solution to issues or problems. If there's a problem, there must be a solution. The only problem is how long it's going to take you to get to that solution. Now, if it's an emotional solution, then it's not really a matter of, feeling. It's a matter of getting to the bottom of it or thinking about the truth of the
Mm-hmm.
matter. So I'd like to think of the truth of the matter. So, for example, give me something. I don't know. Oh, I know. You're so. If I'm feeling depressed because nobody likes me, right? I have to go inside and say, "Is that true? Does nobody like me?" Well, no, there are some people that like me, but no, that's not the case though. If it's not the case, do I like me? I like me. So if I like me, what the hell do I gotta care about what anybody else thinks? You know what I'm saying? I get to the truth of the matter and what the real issues are before I even get emotionally invested. So before I get
Emotionally
emotionally
invested.
invested,
That part.
I think about the truth and the preliminaries of the truth of that matter. And if it's well merited and validated that I get emotionally invested into it, then you're gonna see some.
I'm glad you brought that out because that is a big thing for me. Like, we talk about, how we spend our money and what we buy and things like that and how we, deal with our finances and stuff. But, you know, there's another side to spending time and energy, mental, capacities and things of that sort, and emotional, investments. When we think about these things, we don't think how it really is tied to our money in a whole as well. So I guess I wanted to learn how to better finance my emotions, because I don't want to be spending too much time, you know, dwelling on situations that
You have no
don't serve
control
my
over,
highest good. Right.
or have no purpose in your life.
Right. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. But the only thing you really need to know, because I talk about this in Elevate, tune in to Elevate on Harlem Radio 115.
Check it out, guys.
Yep, every day from 12
Fire
to
stuff
2.
over there. Right.
So, yeah, I talk about this stuff when you have to give yourself a chance to give yourself a point of intention. You got to be intentional. If you're not intentional, you're going to be involved in everything else.
That's
But
true.
if you're intentional, you're focused. And even if the distractions come along, your intentions is always going to make you find your way back to the right track. So if you're not intentional and you're just doing it because it may seem like the right thing to do, then you're gonna get impacted by other things, and you might think, oh, this is more important since I'm more interested, or I'm more emotionally invested, or I care about this more than I care about that, because it may not necessarily be that you care about it, but it care about it more than you care about what your attention is focused on. You know what I'm saying?
Do you realize how sane you have to be to really
You gotta be super emotionally
sane.
intelligent. Seriously,
to make these decisions, and to contemplate these things, because we go through everyday life, and a lot of times these things just go right over our heads. We don't examine them. So shout out to us for taking the time out to dig in a little deeper, so to speak, and get to the root and the heart of matters, especially emotions, because emotions take up a lot of space, time, and energy. And that equates to money. And we don't want to be just so frivolous with our emotions any old way, because, that's like the heart of us. You know what I mean?
Frivolous
So
without emotions. Frivolous. You know how many people are frivolous with their emotions? But it starts off when you're a child.
This is the lack of self-awareness, though.
This is the lack of parental guidance as well. Because if
That's
you
true.
cannot guide your children off the small things, they're not going to be able to handle the big things. Because honestly, the small things to us is a huge thing to them. So just keep that in mind when you brushing off your kid.
That's true. But at the same time, your kid is gonna have to learn some things on their own, because children don't be listening to their parents at all. They just don't be listening.
Let me ask you this, and it's going off topic a little bit, but do you think gentle parenting works?
Just saw a video, and the guy was like, "Whoop that! Watch yourself. Whoop that! Don't know who you talking to." And I was like, "Yeah, man, those was the days when you could just whoop your child's behind, and whip them into shape." Nowadays, these kids, whew.
They whooping you at.
Okay.
Emotional bondage.
You better have your emotions in check. Because, boy, you might end up going to jail messing with these kids. But, yeah,
Going back to the topic, kids carry a lot of emotions. We carry a lot of more emotions because we are facing things like livelihoods. They're facing things like that could literally traumatize them to their livelihood. We're facing things that could traumatize us out of our livelihood.
just
Crazy.
emotions taking me over. Caught up in sorrow, lost in a song. But if you don't come back, come home to me, baby. All right.
Wow, you didn't
Thank
know
you so much for tuning in to the Late Night Angel Black Show.
And until next time, deuces.
And when you see us,
Even if you don't, it's all love.